And Senator Clark of Pennsylvania, another articulate spokesman, defines liberalism as meeting the material needs of the masses through the full power of centralized government. Well, I, for one, resent it when a representative of the people refers to you and me, the free men and women of this country, as the masses. There are cities in Michigan. Oh, shut up.
It began a year ago when the so-called free speech advocates, who in truth have no appreciation for freedom, were allowed to assault and humiliate the symbol of law and order, a policeman on the campus. And that was the moment when the ringleaders should have been taken by the scruff of the neck and thrown out of the university once and for all.
Reagan struck a chord with Americans nationwide who were becoming fed up with the radical 60s.
I saw him make a speech in 1964 for Goldwater. I said, there's the man that should be running for president, and there's the man that we need for president.
I don't think that taking to the streets and rioting and disorder has ever solved anything or ever will. I was picked at a few days ago in California by some youngsters that had signs that said, make love, not war. Trouble is, they didn't look like they were capable of doing either. This fellow that was doing the talking had a haircut like Tarzan, he walked like Jane, and smelled like Cheetah.
These events really caused a white working class backlash among many voters. And Ronald Reagan caught this wave, and he rode it all the way to Sacramento.
I now declare you to be duly installed as governor of the state of California.
The way that he got elected was by looking out in the country at the anti-war protests, the counterculture, and basically making that into a political issue.
At Berkeley, there was a plot of land that had been taken by protesters. The university owned it. They were trying to turn it into a parking lot. The protesters claimed it as a park for the people.
Reagan orders the California Highway Patrol and Berkeley police officers to the park. He tells them to use whatever methods they choose against the protesters. Not long after, police start firing buckshot and tear gas. One student is killed, and an estimated 128 people are admitted to local hospitals. Reagan declares a state of emergency and sends in the National Guard.
Reagan responded to protest really in basically one way, obey the rules or get out.
I am sick and tired of the argument about whether some effort to enforce law and order is going to escalate anything at all. Plain truth of the matter is this has to stop, and it has to stop like the day before yesterday.
I like the way he takes a firm stand on things and the way he goes about them.
I would like to propose that the issue is that on the campuses, you, who are adults, you who are entrusted with those young people and their guidance, have a responsibility to make it plain to them from the very beginning that you yourselves do not tolerate the kind of conduct that has led to the burning of Wheeler Hall, that has led to 2 murders on the campus of UCLA.
These were quite controversial moves, but helped solidify a base for him. And he won re-election by a good margin.
Depending on your political point of view, he was either successful.
He's the hope of America.
Or he was authoritarian.
Created an atmosphere on the campus where no one wants to listen.
It's funny because, we think of Reagan as being the sunny optimist. That was the image he certainly cast as president. But the Ronald Reagan of the mid-1960s was often an angry man, and voters responded well to that.